Good evening, I'm Kimilia and this is KiniNews. Latheefa Koya said the MACC will have no more excuses not to investigate the Sabah scandal. This came after LFL announced that they would submit the full unedited videos to the MACC.
Albert has handed me the material. I will have the material sent to the MACC today after this press conference. Zaid will be going over with the material after this. Then finally, there can be no more excuses not to investigate the matter. There can be no more feet dragging or looking the other way. Now, I end by telling the authorities and the government to protect Albert and not to prosecute him. It is in the public interest to protect the whistleblower and use his testimony to go after the big fish. It is not in the public interest to arrest, remand or prosecute him and let the big fish escape. No government in the world does that. I ask this Madani government this question. Do you really think that the Malaysian government want to see Albert arrested or prosecuted? Or does the public want Albert protected and his testimony used to take action upon the video evidence of potentially the worst corruption scandal since 1MDB?
Meanwhile, Zaid Ibrahim believes Latheefa has given the graft busters no more room to avoid investigating the scandal. Zaid Ibrahim said the MACC is left with no more excuses to avoid pursuing a probe into the Sabah corruption scandal. The former law minister said this after ex-MACC Chief Commissioner Latheefa Koya announced that Lawyers for Liberty will be handing over all unedited videos received from the whistleblower to the graft busters. In a post on X, he said Latheefa has given the MACC no room to maneuver. He said the whistleblower delivered the unedited videos, which means MACC has to get cracking on the corruption scandal in Sabah. Commenting further, Zaid Ibrahim said Latheefa is not a politician but a former chief commissioner of MACC, and her relentless pursuit of the case was born out of conviction and not partisan politics. He said MACC Chief Azam Baki must now issue a public statement that a full investigation will commence unhindered by any superior power. He added that any other option will compromise MACC beyond repair. Earlier, Latheefa said LFL Executive Director Zaid Malek will head to the MACC's headquarters in Petaling Jaya at around 2 p.m. to hand over a USB drive and the original device used by the whistleblower to record the videos. The whistleblower was previously identified as a business person, but Latheefa this morning referred to him using his first name, Albert. Before we move on, consider supporting us by scanning the QR code on the screen and subscribing to Malaysia Kini. While we are on the topic of the Sabah scandal, the whistleblower has revealed alleged WhatsApp messages between him and the Sabah speaker. A business person who implicated Sabah Legislative Speaker Kadzim Yahya in a corruption scandal has released alleged WhatsApp messages between them. In the leaked conversation on May 30th, 2024, Kadzim allegedly asked for a cash advance, citing a lost wallet and the need to block his bank cards. He added that the amount can be offset from what is due to him. According to the alleged message, the business person agreed and promised to deliver 50,000 ringgit the next day. The speaker also allegedly requested that the missing wallet not be mentioned in front of his wife. When contacted by Malaysia Kini, Kadzim acknowledged the message but said it was a request to borrow money from the business person. Kadzim said it is not like an advance per se, like part payment. He explained that it was a request to borrow some cash while he tried to settle the matter. He said he had met the business person sometime later in Kota Kinabalu and offered to refund and was told it was okay later. MCMC will not be suspending Era FM's parent company's license. However, it fined them 250,000 ringgit. The parent company of Era FM radio station has been fined 250,000 ringgit over the recent incident where its presenters mocked a Hindu religious ceremony. MCMC, however, decided against suspending Maestra Broadcast Sendirian Berhad's license. This is after considering several factors, including the impacts it would have against Era FM's sister companies that are also operating under the same license. In a statement, MCMC said considerations were made based on follow-up actions that the license holder has taken following the incident. This included apologies made by the involved parties and the impact of license suspensions on Melody and Mix FM radio stations, which are also operating under the same license. However, it said Maestra Broadcast has been issued with a compound of 250,000 ringgit for uploading offensive content on Era FM's official TikTok account. It added that the compound was issued after receiving permission from the Attorney General's chambers. Arsen Rayer has reiterated his call for action to be taken against Zamri Vinoth. Jelutong MP Arsen Rayer has reiterated his call for authority to take strict action against the Muslim preacher Zamri Vinoth. This was over his post likening kavadi bearers during the Hindu Thaipusam festival to individuals who are possessed and intoxicated. In a post on Facebook this morning, Rayer said the Attorney General and police must act without fear or favor in upholding Article 11 of the Federal Constitution, which guarantees the right of every citizen to profess and practice the religion of his choice, free from any interference and insults. He said it has almost been 2 weeks since Zamri began ranting and mocking Thaipusam on his Facebook page after the Era FM controversy, referencing the action taken in the KK case where the owners, despite their apology, were swiftly hauled up to face charges in court. Rayer called for the same in the case of the Era FM radio hosts and Zamri. He said this is to demonstrate that there are no double standards on all cases of religious mockery. Rayer also urged Malaysians to maintain pressure on the issue and continue filing police reports nationwide. The Seremban City Council has removed several doors from low-cost flat units where tenants owed more than 15,000 ringgit in rent. The Seremban City Council (MBS) has removed the doors of several units at a low-cost flat after its residents failed to pay rent for years. Several of the tenants had failed to pay the monthly 150 ringgit rent for decades, resulting in debts going up to tens of thousands of ringgit. A video shared by the council showed the operation being carried out by MBS. During the operation, MBS found that some of the flat's dwellers were not the actual tenants on record with the council, implying that these flats were sublet to other tenants.
Kita telah hantar notis dan juga amaran supaya puan kena bayar sewa yang tertunggak. Tetapi sehingga hari ini anda masih gagal cuai enggan bayar tunggakan sewaan. Jadi kita dari MBS hari ini datang ke sini untuk mengambil tindakan selanjutnya, iaitu kita nak buka pintu. Walau bagaimanapun kami dapati puan adalah bukan penyewa yang sebenarnya. Macam mana puan boleh masuk rumah ini? Puan merupakan penceroboh tau.
Earlier, MBS had said that the Lobau operation targeted dwellers of 6 units who owned between 17,000 to 34,000 ringgit in back rent. They were issued tenancy termination notices on January 31st and were told to move out by February 26. Moving on to international news, former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested at the Manila airport this morning. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested after landing in Manila on Tuesday following an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court. According to reports, the International Criminal Police Organization Manila received the arrest warrant from the ICC this morning. In a statement, the Presidential Communications Office said when Duterte arrived in the Philippines at 9:20 a.m., the Prosecutor General presented the official ICC notification confirming the arrest warrant for him. The PCO assured the public that Duterte was in good health and was immediately examined by the government doctors upon his arrival. It added that the Philippine National Police officer who enforced the warrants were also equipped with body cameras to ensure transparency throughout the operation. While the Philippine government had said it would not cooperate with the ICC's investigation, officials acknowledged the country's obligations under Interpol agreements, which ultimately led to Duterte's detention. Duterte is facing crimes against humanity before the ICC for his bloody war on drugs. That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.